Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Crypto Crow. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, and his face-off with Congress that's coming over his crypto policy, everything that he's been doing as it relates to the cryptocurrency markets. Because, you know, if there's been anybody busier in the cryptocurrency space, it's very much Gary Gensler. And, you know, listen, I'm of the school that we definitely need regulation in crypto. There are just way too many bad actors. If there's an opportunity for someone to pull a stunt or pull something over on someone else and profit from it, you know, there are way too many people out there willing to sell their soul and do that. And there needs to be ways that limit a lot of this activity. And let's face it, in such a new era of disruption, this new technology, these new investment vehicles, if there's an opportunity for bad actors to ruin people and while filling their own pockets, they're going to. And groups like the SEC, the CFTC, all of these groups, that's ultimately their job, is to try and protect us from these people. However, the other side to that is that a lot of these regulatory bodies are also prone to political interests. You know, what do they think is going to give them the most power? And you know, I don't know how these groups work, but based off of what I see, I have to assume that, you know, there's a hierarchy like anything else. And the leader of that hierarchy, I'm sure to some degree, takes orders from other people, right? This is our agenda. This is our narrative, whether it's part of a political agenda or whatever the case may be. And they're funded by a lot of these people. And think about it. When you have companies like major banks that have paid billions and billions of dollars in fines for all sorts of terrible stuff they've done, why are they allowed to still operate? I mean, let's be real about it, especially repeat offenders. I mean, we have pharmaceutical companies that have paid billions and billions and billions of dollars in fines for terrible stuff they've done. Why are they still allowed to operate? Not only that, but, you know, in some cases, why would the government even try to push products by some of these companies? It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. These are companies that the public should be protected from. But for whatever reason, because I believe in the fines and the amount of money that they put into lobbying and fees and fines and all sorts of stuff, they just consider it the cost of doing business. You know, they have a lot of power, and with that kind of power, they can use people at the higher levels of government to say, we don't like this, we want you to do something about it. And then you may very well have someone like Gary Gensler say, okay, consider it done. And then away they go. Well, the chair of the Financial Services Committee said its primary focus would be setting the groundwork for crypto regulations in the United States. So the United States Securities and Exchange Commission chief, Gary Gensler, is set to testify before the House Financial Services Committee for the first time. In an interview, Representative Patrick McHenry, chairman of the Financial Services Committee, confirmed that the SEC chief would have to face questions on April 18th over his approach toward the crypto ecosystem. So in basically about 2.5 weeks, Gary Gensler is going to basically have a public talk. And you know, here's the thing about this kind of stuff. This is probably going to be a big day in crypto, one way or another. And so the prices are probably either going to go up or they're going to go down based on the conversation. But the reality is that anytime I see these people sitting in a place where they're in the hot seat, so to speak, they just don't answer the questions. They beat around the bush. They, you know, nobody is ever actually clear in anything they say during any of these kinds of meetings or these hearings or whatever. It just all feels like a dog and pony show. And they get really frustrating. And oftentimes I see senators asking questions that get really frustrated with the fact that these people just do not answer questions. And I almost feel like, what is the point? What is the point of having these hearings when all of the questions are ignored or they're danced around? No, there should be some sort of law that says if it's a yes or no question, you must answer yes or no. I mean, and keep it simple, but nobody does that. It's like, what color is the sky today? Well, thank you for that question. I appreciate that question. Based on the temperature today, it looks like it's actually going to be quite warmer than it was yesterday. So, this could be a relative question given where you're at in the world, and just basically say everything but the answer to the damn question, and it drives me nuts. The House, so I don't know what to expect. The House Financial Services Committee has jurisdiction over all aspects of the U.S. financial services sector, including banking, securities, and digital assets. The other side to this, too, is we see Gary Gensler and the SEC, and they're doing all of these things in crypto, but we also see this kind of pseudo war brewing between the SEC and the CFTC. Who's responsible for managing and regulating the crypto space? And so it's this argument of what is what, who's responsible for what. Is everything really a security? Because that doesn't really make sense. It shouldn't be the case, but the SEC is treating it as such. So they make the claim, this is all a security, this is all our jurisdiction, and it's almost like the feds fighting local police over jurisdiction over a big case that's going to help someone's career, right? And so now you have these two groups kind of beating each other in the head. And so now you see the CFTC saying, oh, well, we're a part of this too, so we're going to go after Binance. We're going to start making our claim. And now it's almost like you've got two giant, regulatory bodies fighting each other over the piece of meat. It's like they've got a lamb laying on the ground and they're just going to start fighting each other for it. And it's going to be very interesting to see what the outcome ultimately is, because it's nerve-wracking. It's really nerve-wracking because everything has been so clouded and so unclear for so long. And, it's a very nerve-wracking thing. During his interview, McHenry noted that it would be the first oversight hearing of the SEC. The hearing will be focused on Gensler's rulemaking and approach toward crypto assets. He added that the committee will have sizable general oversight over the SEC and would take a serious approach in terms of laying down a regulatory sphere for digital assets. The chief's approach toward crypto has turned many heads over the years, with many Democratic Party members voicing their concern about his approach. Some in the crypto industry believe that the party's anti-crypto stance could be disastrous for its 2024 election campaign. Dennis Porter, the co-founder of the Satoshi Action Fund, said that many pro-crypto and pro-Bitcoin Democrats are lining up to voice their opposition to the party's stance, because it has been very iron-fisted. And we haven't even really seen everything that the Biden administration has been planning or laying out for the crypto space yet. We just know that he doesn't like it, and it's probably going to get really difficult unless somebody interjects, unless people show, hey, listen, the system of old does not work anymore. We believe more in this new system. If you want to keep our attention and you want to keep our trust, allow us to do what we want to do. Regulate the bad apples, make it safer for us, but don't try to keep us out. And I think that is ultimately the stance that many people are starting to unify. And if the cryptocurrency space as a whole is the one thing that's able to start finally unifying the left and the right under a cause that benefits us all, then so be it. Let's go. It's really all I have to say. I'll be curious to see how this transpires in April, and hopefully some people start to get some clear answers as to what's going on, and we can start moving forward for the better of all of us instead of just the handful of those who are controlling what's going on behind the scenes. Until next time, crow your coins, and I'll see you soon.